Hi, it's Nancy with Gardens Grow, and we've been very busy. And this is just a busy time, not only in the garden, but we've got a wedding coming up. Congratulations, Gabby. We've got a baby shower that I missed. I'm so sorry, Jamie. I really wanted to go because, for one thing, it was at my niece's church, and another thing, I just miss you guys, and I love you, and so excited for your little one in your life. And then graduations are coming up, so it's a very busy time, and yet we've got to still find time to work and do what needs to be done in the garden. What's blooming in the garden today after the rain? This one was just so pretty. It was pretty yesterday too, but I had to go ahead and put it on here. And this pretty blue days opened up. Now that is because of the rain and our cooler weather. Isn't that pretty? This, if I haven't already told you, is a Josie reblooming lilac. Some of the irises are blooming. Oh, this is that bewildebeest iris. Fixing to bloom. It's opening up. Isn't that pretty colors? The lilac is still blooming, and now the bridal spirea is blooming also. Not blooms here yet, except for the little bit of verbena and marigold that I put in this pot, but it just looked pretty. So bright and green after the rain. Dianthus, iris, and a sedum there. There's still a little tulip blooming. There's our rain gauge. 1.5 inches. Actually, a little over 1.5 inches. What is that, 1.6 inches? Not actually blooming yet, but opening up. It'll be blooming tomorrow. It probably would be today if it wasn't cool, but it's nice to have a cool day too. I wish we had more cool days here in Oklahoma. We could have long springs and long falls for my part. The golden carria is still got lots of pretty golden yellow blooms on it. All the peony beds are all budded out and growing fuller and fuller. They'll soon burst into their flower. And I wanted to show you a little peony bud that I noticed today. So here it is. See this little bud? It's gigantic. It's so pretty. These are the ones that I was telling you that when they bloom they look like crepe paper, like palest pink crepe paper. The columbine is opening up. And here's a blue one of the columbine. This little iris is blooming. When I first saw this iris, when it first bloomed for me in my garden, I thought chocolate sundae. It looks like vanilla ice cream with the chocolate on top. More iris. Dianthus. Oh look, there's a little Diana clematis blooming. Let me get where I can get it for you on here. Isn't that pretty? And there's some more of those chocolate sundae irises. Of course, that's not really what they're called. That's just what I call them. And I forgot their actual name, but they are very pretty. And as I'm showing you this, I'm seeing right over here another clematis bloom. Not actually a flower, but this is a blackberry bloom. Here's another peony bloom that's opening up now, and it is more the smaller size, but it's still very pretty, and they're still actually pretty good sized flower. All the peonies that I know of are. Another iris, and another iris. A bachelor's button, and this is looking purple to me through this as I'm looking into it, and in actuality this is the prettiest blue, and I doubt if I'm going to get it to show up that way. It looks purple, but it's such a pretty blue. I wish you could see it. Some more clematis blooming. Candy taff. Not actually a bloom, but this white feather hosta is looking gorgeous. You might can tell the ground has been dug up there because I dug it up and took a little start off of it to put in the front. It's so pretty, I wanted at least two. Again, not blooming, but loving the cooler weather and just showing off are the heuchera or coral bells. So pretty. And these sweet little bleeding heart blooms will probably soon be gone, but they last a fairly good long time for a perennial, and they're so pretty. I'll get a close-up of this pretty bridal spirea. You can tell spring is moving on. It went from the buds on the trees to the lilac, and now the bridal spirea is blooming. It's too bad they don't last longer. Can you imagine? Maybe when we get to heaven, maybe they'll be blooming all at the same time. I know I've already got this clematis on for you, but I'm going to put it on for you again because it's just so pretty, and I don't know how much longer it will last, but right now it's looking like it could last a whole lot longer. Just beautiful. Some more tulips still blooming, and you can see the lilac buds that have far bloomed that have fallen off in the background. My camera's trying to focus on the lilac buds instead of the tulip. Let me try again. I didn't think I was particularly fond of the smoke bush, but then I saw one at a nursery and it just looked so good that I decided I do want one. So sometimes the smoke part of it that looks like smoke looks unruly and not so good to me, but this foliage looks beautiful. And if I don't like the looks of the smoke part, I'll just clip it off. But right now it's really looking good. Irises are blooming. Peonies are blooming. I love the peonies. Something about that size. It's the beauty of all the flowers, but the peonies are so big and beautiful. And oh wow, I have a new little bloom on my clematis too. This bloom is about to go. Oh, it's too sad because it's such a beauty. Such a beautiful peony. I wish they would last longer. Here's one that's just fixing to open. It's not quite as big as that other one, but it's still very pretty. Columbine's blooming more. So my little yellow blooms are going away. I guess that they may be going to seed there, which if that's what that is, I probably want to save some of those because that was so pretty. It's a real welcomer to spring. Springtime, it just spoke it out. Pretty red dianthus there. This little clematis has already went away. It's too bad they don't last longer, but so beautiful when they are in bloom. And then we get pictures that do last. A pretty little Wilgula, or however you say that bush, is blooming, but it's not the color it's supposed to be. I don't know if it needs fertilizer or exactly what it needs, but this is supposed to be red. I see some little tiny hints of red on there, but this is usually when it blooms, it's just a beautiful red. See if I can go on over this way a little bit and show you the pink one, because it really is pink. I don't know why this other one changed colors on me, but it did. Look at the pretty bridal spirea, and then there's just a little bit left on the bleeding heart, the pink bleeding heart. And then this next plant right here, it doesn't have very many blooms on it, but the one that is blooming is a beautiful pink. I haven't got around to fixing up any of my pots in the back. I put a few little things in a few of them, but I want to get all that done. And I did plant right here in this bare spot. I planted a elephant ear. I had it there last year too, and it got gigantic, and I just loved it there, and you could tell it loved where I put it too. And I also noticed this little painter's palette plant is coming up. It was about to get choked out by the pachysandra. This right here, I had quite a bit of it there, and it had spread out, so I did take some of that out so it'd have room for the other things. I don't want them to choke it out like this here is choking things out, not only on this side of the path, but on this side over here too. So I have got to get in there and dig some of that out. I didn't know it. I thought things would grow up with it, not that it would choke it out. But when it begins to choke a plant out, then I don't really want it in that area, or else I'll want to put it in a pot or do something different with it. So I noticed all this pretty little, well, some irises and then clematis growing on that fence over there. The peach tree is full of peaches. I don't know if I can get them on here for you where you can tell, but it's just got loads of peaches on it. A lot of the golden carrier blooms are fading, but there's still some that look bright and new and pretty. I love this little bush, and I did give my niece a start of it, so one day she'll have it blooming in her yard, and I'm sure it will just be gorgeous. The little mock orange tree or bush has got buds on it, so soon it'll open up to its pretty sweet smelling white blooms. And there's another peony bloom. This is the one I showed you as a big red bud the other day. Our little weeping willow is still looking good. I did get most all the pots done in the front, though. I've been so busy with it and so tired, but it's been wonderful to get it done, and it does look good. I have to say it does. Like one of those times, if I do say so myself. You know, I always thought that Paul did a pretty good job of bragging about himself, and this morning our pastor said he was going to pull a Paul and brag about himself a little bit. So I guess he kind of thought the same thing. So, but I guess at that one point Paul just decided, well, nobody else was going to say it, so he would just tell him for himself what all he had been doing and what all he gave up. And sometimes we just have to do that. Our pastor was talking about pressing in. Sometimes we just have to press in. I actually got a few more new things too. Oh, that old wind with this is a bougainvillea, but I think it'll come out of it. But it just came out from having it overwintered inside, and it's just that wind. It wasn't ready for all that. But hopefully it will still come out of it and put on new leaves there. Look at this hosta. And that taking off and going. This one too, this one also, that one right back there, which I've probably already shown these to you right through there, but I just didn't say anything about them, so I'm going to have to go back and let you look at those. Aren't they pretty? And this little white looking thing is one of my new plants. And I'm not thinking the name of it. I don't even know if I know how to say the name of it. It starts with an S. But isn't it pretty? I want to see how well I like that, because I know I love the Dusty Millers and how they attract all the other colors and make the other colors shine more. So I thought this one might do the same thing. Oh, this little bird bath right here is bird bath steak. It's one of the newer things that I just got this last week. I think it's going to be a good addition to my garden. This little girl is new. In one of my posts, it was hard to keep going because my niece passed away, and she was only in her 30s, and so she was actually born on St. Patrick's Day. So I found this little angel, which was perfect, and then I put these little clovers in for the luck of the Irish. I think of her all the time. She left behind 2 little boys that look so much like her. One of them looks practically exactly like her, only the male version. And the other one has so many mannerisms of hers that I just love. I love being with them and seeing them. It lets me feel that there's a part of her still here. And right here's where I put that plant that I told you remind me of Glenda, because she got the first one and she gave me a piece of hers, and then I was actually able to save little clippings through the winter in the window for us for about 4 years, until finally my clipping rotted and didn't make it through to be put back into the garden. So I got a new one this year. I got my little hooks that drop it down a little bit, and they also twirl around so you can change the position of your planter if you want to. But it doesn't drop it down much, but it didn't need to be dropped down a lot, but just that little bit makes it more where I can see inside it and take care of it if I need to. And I love these little Siberian irises popping up. They're smaller, but they're just so pretty, and especially here the sunlight catches them and just makes them dazzle and shine. And I also got this pretty little, it's called a lime zinger elephant ear. It's not standing up real well yet, but I think it will. It's just newly potted and has to put its root down and get a little stronger. And I forgot to point out, but our lilacs are gone in the back, and this little Josie re-blooming pink lilac that was so pretty, it's about gone too. It's looking pretty scraggly. Another thing that doesn't last long, but spring is just moving on, and we'll have more and different things like this snowball bush back here that's full of blooms that look like snowballs. I love this pretty little bush right here. I love this color in the garden. Look how it lights the garden up. So I did get this little pot fixed up with some new coconut liner and some new plants. It's a new start for the season too.